everyone? Corey here with the Septic Talk. Getting ready to show off my Grapple build for the community challenge. So, interesting thing, when I was actually finally pulling everything here after I did my build, came to a interesting revelation. I have no grapple. I know, crazy. So I guess it's just one of those cards I just need to get a hold of. I know I've talked about before previously, but it was one of those things. I loved the game when it first came out, but it was not going on here at all, so I didn't really invest in Wave 2 at all. We finally got some more people finally involved and got more heavily back in with Siege 1 while at Gen Con, and kind of just been going crazy since then. But it's one of those cards I just apparently didn't have and thought I did. Anyway, so we all understand the whole point is you have Grapple, and you have stuff around it, and you got to build for it. So we basically probably all already aware what Grapple does at this point. Obviously, alt side, when it's flipped to it, if you discard 4 cards, you've got the whole 4 attack situation going on. Flip side, if you're attacking and have exactly 4 cards, exactly 4 colors flipped, but only 4, not 5. That's key. You get an additional +4 to your attack or +4 defense since it is a battling card. So, kind of working with him, the basic expectation with Grapple is you're flipping first turn in my head because you want to start getting your hand ready to go so that you can start pumping out that 4 damage wherever the heck you want. To kind of help with that, I figure you need to kind of have cards that you don't really want to look to flip around. And you kind of need a mixed deck as well, so you kind of need, a little bit of attack, a little bit of defense, actually probably a lot of defense, because again, key thing is keeping Grapple alive in this scenario because you want to basically pull off his little trick as much as possible. So to kind of help him do that, and to kind of help negate what the other player's doing, my first little side piece for Grapple is Nightbird. Nightbird is a card in range. Most of you probably know what she does, but just in case, if your opponent plays an action, somewhere on their side, they got to take a damage. Flip side, when she doesn't do a KO, her bounty is that you can play an action from your opponent's scrap pile. This could actually be really nice depending on what the setup is on the other person, what you know they have in their scrap pile at that point. If you got a little character out there that you know is ready to go down, and heck, they got a ready for action sitting in their pile, I mean, it's not a bad idea to be able to re-untap somebody right off the bat if you've got that ability and you know you're going to KO the other piece. So, Nightbird, I just think it's a solid character, 7 stars, no defense, but that's kind of understood. Usually Nightbird's, first target. Going along with it, I wanted to kind of try and keep as much of a car truck theme with it as possible. So I went a little bit with a Autobot and Mercenary build, so went with Private over Power Drive. Main reason here is he's not going to get knocked right off the bat. He's going to be in there for a little bit. He gives himself a bold 1. He's got a beefy enough defense and lifespan, and getting himself bold 1 in the end. He's got the possibility to, do a nice little bit of hit, do a nice little bit, take a little bit of damage, but depending on what you flip in this, he's got a real good potential to do a lot of harm, and you'll kind of see why I say so when we kind of go ahead and get into the cards. So I'm going to slide these guys down here for right now. Alright, so I broke these up into weapons, utilities, armor, and then 3 sets of action cards, and I'll get to why. So first thing we're going to go ahead and talk about, we'll go ahead and talk about the weapons. One of the key things I think is important with this build is if you are on the attack side, like you just don't have a flip opportunity and you need to do something your next go around with Grapple, that whole key piece is being able to know that you're going to have 4 colors flipped so that you can get the most bang for your buck with that extra attack bonus. Being able to plan 2 cards is going to help that out a lot. Aside from the fact that it's giving him a +1 to begin with, he plans 2 cards, he's giving himself another +2, so he's got potentially already a +3. You throw all that in there, you can already kind of see how this is going to snowball real quick for him. Going along with it also, this could go on him or Powertrain, and this is again one of those things that kind of helps do the boost on him. Gets the +2, gets the Pierce 2, so we're guaranteeing damage that goes through. All these little things do add up with characters like this. As you go along, you're going to start getting some characters that are going to, take a damage here and there. And it's not bad at that point when they do go ahead and throw an Energon Axe on them. Same thought with the Noble's Blaster. The only difference is this can now also go on Nightbird, gives the +3 this time now, and a Pierce 2. The key thing here is, obviously, you can't retrieve it like the Noble's Blaster, but you're going to see that that might not be as big of a problem in this deck. Two more weapons we threw in here because, again, we wanted to kind of spread out and try and have some options here as we go. Drill arms, just so we have an opportunity to scrap a weapon, give us a blue pip also, so we've got more with our defense working for us. And then lastly, piercing blaster. Again, giving us a white pip. There's only 3 in this whole deck. I will go ahead and say that. I probably should have more in there, but I feel pretty good with the set of cards that I did put with this. Again, piercing blaster, pierce 3. Again, we're just guaranteeing that damage. If you've got it on Powertrain over here, you just know that every time he hits, he's going to hit hard. All right, moving away from the weapons here. We'll go ahead and talk armor next here. Armor, not a whole lot to show here. Smoke Cloak giving us basically tough 1. I know it's not the best, but the big piece here is that on our defense flips or attack flips, we're at least getting something useful out of it. Attack flips, we're getting pierce. Defense, we're still getting a defense. So it's a no harm, no foul. Plus, again, we need the 4 sets of colors when we're using Grapple, so this will come in handy. Follow up with it again, throwing Grapple gauntlets on. This time I went opt into this one just so... Oh, actually, you know what? I need to kind of clarify the reason why drill arms. I totally forgot about the reason I went with these versus enforcement batons and bashing shield. The main reason here is if you've got the opportunity to scrap the armor or weapon with these, great. If not, card draw. That is key with this guy right here, guys. You want to try and get as many cards in your hand so that you can start getting the right options in play and be able to kind of keep flipping him and churning him out to what you want to do, but also be able to set your hand up as well as you can for your other ancillary characters to kind of keep them going along. So that is all the armors. Not a lot in there, but again, the expectation is there's only 3 of them, so you're only ever going to get 3 on there, so the rest will at least help you out one way or the other, and you can kind of pre-plan around it as you kind of get them on there. All right, moving on to utilities. I'm going to save one in particular for last. We'll go ahead and start with Matrix of Leadership. This is expected to go on Powertrain. Powertrain is a leader, so all it's going to do is just help us get a bump on both Grapple and Nightbird with a +1 and a Pierce 1. It'll just only give Powertrain a +1, but that's not bad. Again, it's kind of one of those nice, helpful little flip things. It's not going to hurt you on an attack or a defense. It's just going to do one or the other on the helpfulness of it. Next one again, Plan with Security Council. This is one that I could see being good at some point to begin with on Grapple. Main reason why is because you want to try and get as much good defense situations going for him. This could also be good on Powertrain or Nightbird until you kind of get to some of the other ones that you want to get in there. So this one's kind of a float piece. The third utility is kind of a staple in most decks anymore, is Pocket Processor. Again, key thing in this game is card draw. The more options you have in your hand, the better you can set up yourself going forward with all the things you want to do. All right, so I mentioned I have one left over here, and it is a just single green pip card, but I think it's very important, and I don't know how many other people may have thought about just throwing this in there. And specifically, the expectation is using this on Grapple. Enemy Combat Analysis. By default, if you've got a tapped Grapple or an untapped, or if everybody's untapped and you're tapped, or you know what I'm trying to say. Basically, if you know that your Grapple is going to be going after another Grapple, or that their Grapple is coming after your Grapple, this is great. We already know that Grapple is in every build for this, so specifically any combat analysis is nice because, again, it's giving you that bump on the +2 on the attack or defense. Kind of, again, the big situation with the bot side of Grapple is you got that four card defense draw that can come into play and be really helpful for you. So I really like this card in here. I don't play it often anyways, but this one, it just made sense to me. And again, the expectation is you only need the one because it's just a green pip, so as soon as it comes up, you're going to be able to get it if you just don't natural draw it. All right, so that takes care of all of our armors, weapons, and utilities. Next, we're going to go ahead and talk about the actions. As I mentioned earlier, I've kind of got these separated into 3 different categories. I'm going to go ahead and start off with the messing with the turn scenario and status of the game situation. Since we have that mercenary, we might as well take advantage. We'll throw a couple opportune repairs in there. These are great for our attack again because they're giving us an orange and a black, so we're guaranteeing damage with a flip on this every single time. Obviously, unless there's, secret actions out there taking away the pierce and whatnot. But nonetheless, excellent card for this. Again, giving us multiple color options on the flips to help us along as we go with our grapple. Next is, again, another situation where it's just giving us some options. Wedge formation. Again, multiple colors. It's still helping us out. It's a staple card in a lot of decks also, from what I see. The only thing we miss out on here is we don't have any specialists, so we don't have any plan with this, but I think that's all right. We do have a range, so it's getting us another card draw, because again, we want card options in our hands for this. Because we know that people also need these options in their hand, never too bad to just have an espionage out there. You know that guy, the other person's got like a card or two in their hand, and you know essentially what they got. Maybe they've been swapping in and out with green pip cards, so you kind of know what's coming up. You throw that out there and just totally wreck their plans. If their plan is to come around and throw something out at you, this will be really helpful to kind of keep, things flowing on your side. Next one I think is also kind of a good idea in this one, and why I only put actually one in here, is the key player in this is Grapple. We want to pull off his trick as much as possible. Sometimes you're going to have to attack with him when you may not have want to. Throw a swap mission in there, tap somebody else you don't care about dying and get him flipped over so you can get him back in the fray for a second round of hits if you've already got a good setup with him. He's one of those characters, you get him built up right, he is going to hit hard every time. So swap missions is real nice. Tap out Powertrain or Nightbird and bring him back to the untapped situation. Excellent card use there in my opinion. Alright, so that's the mess with the game state set of actions. Next ones I'm going to show are the I'm here to hurt you actions. So, first is fight for position. Again, on our flips, we're guaranteeing damage every single time. If we're playing it bold 2, just helps us get more flips on our attack. Just kind of keep building towards that. Next one is mainly meant more for these guys when they're going after grapple, and that's the bigger they are. Give the +2 and a Pierce 4. Again, just helping keep pinging away at that grapple on the opponent's side, just to kind of do as much damage as possible. The next one is more intended to be played with Private Powertrain, but can be helpful just for another, again, a little bump going on with grapple, since they are both trucks. 4-wheel drive card I haven't even played at all. I had to actually sleeve these for this because it's just one of those things. I don't play just truck builds often. I don't see myself, going towards them, so I just haven't really messed with it. But I mean, being able to turn your base attack to a 7, I mean, just think of like the things you've already seen here, and all of a sudden Powertrain starts swinging at a 7 to start with, because again, there's no need for Private Powertrain to flip over. None of that's going to be helpful for him, so that's the whole reason we went with some of these, is because again, he's got a decent defense, he's got a decent amount of health for 5 stars, and he's already hitting decent for the micro machines. Oh, my micro machines. You know what I'm saying, the micro bots. So that was the try to make them hurt stuff. Alright, the last set of actions, and what I think is in particular a need for this, because again, as we talked, what's the thing you need in hand? Card options. So you can get the right stuff out of your hand onto the right people at the right time. So card draw is what we're going to see a lot of here. Pep Talk, pretty straightforward, draw 2 cards. Battlefield Report, pretty straightforward. You're going to do a defending, draw 2 cards. Next couple ones, if you've noticed here, you'll see that, well, let's go ahead and do this first. Team Up Tactics, this could be helpful because we, can get 2 damage taken off of a truck. It's just another opportunity to heal. Or, again, if we need some cards in hand, we do have 1 card out here with Nightbird, so get a couple more card draws, just basically opportunity to possibly either heal or get some draws there. All right. We have 24 stars altogether. So with that, I went ahead and threw in a universal network access because, again, name of the game is get cards in hand so that you can get the flip sequence going with Grapple as much as possible to abuse his little scenario as many times as you can. All right. So as we're seeing, card draw, tons and tons here. All right. Kind of a card draw. Got 2 Ancient Wisdoms. The whole point here is these aren't really card draws. They're scraps, and obviously they're action and upgrade. You're able to play them. This can be really helpful, kind of chaining stuff along. But the nice thing is Unleash Potential. You get a couple of these in here as well to get to play off that. And you're able to bring in a star card from outside the game into your hand. You can bring in some more universal networks. You can bring in some energized fields if you're wanting to kind of bump up your double blues. You can bring in some bolt of lightnings if you're just wanting to, aside from just doing the 4 damage, have another 3 and just possibly be able to bang out 7 direct damage constantly. There's tons of options out there of what you could possibly throw in there with the star cards. That's kind of one of the nice things about that, is that you can load up a good little set of the sideboard just to kind of have an opportunity to do all kinds of fun little things. Anyways, guys, I hope you like it. I'm hoping to actually set up the next Sunday Fun Day on the Facebook webcam games group to maybe see if there's enough people out there that also did Grapple builds. Maybe we'll just have nothing but a Grapple Fun Day Sunday. Anyways, guys, take it easy. Check me out on the Twitter, Deceptive Talk. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you liked the build. Take it easy. And I hope you all have a nice day.